funny how we are. So many years of struggling to get this far. Pain in our mother's eyes when her son died by the hands of another mother's son's reply. It's funny, young women cry to take a soul's freedom on a lie. Maybe he just wants to hold your hand, the poor, humble, lonely, rich man caught up in a storm of greed and deception. I prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day. I prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day that we change that way. It's funny how we are. Why do we make each other hurt with emotional scars? People, please awake from your sleep. Open your eyes to a brighter, clearer day complete with love and compassion that's so sweet. Fall to your knees, live in peace. Fall to your knees, fall to your knees. I prayed yesterday, prayed today, every day I will pray. Pray yesterday, I'll pray today, I'll pray each and every way. Pray yesterday, pray today, I guess I'll sit down and pray. Oh, that we change that way. Yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day. I'll pray yesterday, pray today, I pray every day. Prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray in each and every way. Oh, we have to change that way. bridges of steel and love, and cities that smile. Gray and empty faces walk by, and hands try to hide all the loneliness. Lighting a cigarette to blow time away. Lost in the noise, lonely as the wind. People on sidewalks with no place to go. Can they learn to understand a world of love that I'm dreaming? A world of love. And I said I've got a sack full of dreams, streets filled with laughter and toy balloons, and people with hearts that care, who listen for love. Wanting to sing, wanting to care, wanting to share all my dreams for the world. Can they learn to understand of a world of love that I'm dreaming? A world of love. Wanting to care, wanting to share all my dreams for the world. Can they learn? Can they learn of a world of love that I'm dreaming? A world of peace and happiness. This is my sack full of dreams. Does it fall from skies above? Is it underneath the willow tree that I've been dreaming of? Where is he who I close my eyes to see? Will I ever know the sweet hello that's meant for travel far and wide till I am beside the someone who I can mean something to. Where is love? Every night I kneel and pray, let tomorrow be the day when I am beside the someone who I can mean something to. Where is love? Where is the love? Where is the Wish I knew why I'm so in love with you. No one else in this world will do. Darling, please save your love for me. Right away. If I were wise, I'd run away. But like a fool in love, I stay and pray you save your love for me. I can feel it even when you're not here. Can't conceal it. I really love you, my dear, though I know no good can come from loving you. I can't do a thing 'cause I'm so in love with you. So darling, help me please. Have mercy on a fool like me. You see, I'm lost, but still I plead. Darling, please save your love for me.
right. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the Indie Lodge Spot. We're very excited. Of course, we have our special guest returning back because last week when we had him on the show, we were having some technical difficulties, and so we had to actually reschedule for this week. So we're very excited and pleased that both Hazel Mitchell Bell and Vince Evan both has returned. Welcome back to the show, my friends.
Good to be here.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us back.
man,
Absolutely.
glad for y'all was able to come back.
Be careful, Ray, because your chair
Boy, I know what I
is creaking over there. So if you're gonna be moving too much, mute your mic. Okay. All right. Uh, so anyway, we just got through playing some selections from the Sack of Dreams uh, playlist. There's a lot of great stuff on there. It's so refreshing to hear this wonderful jazz music, and we're glad to have you both here to tell us and give us fill us in about your history and all the great things that you guys are doing. I know that both you, Vince, and Hazel, y'all both paired up some time back. Is that correct, if I remember right? And you guys got together and started working on some projects and things. And then this one here, I guess this is your second one together.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Yeah. So tell us a little history here. How did you guys get together? I mean, how did you guys come together, basically, to make this wonderful music?
Well, I met this gentleman named Bill Heyman at a fair, and I sat in with him and did a couple of songs. He said, "I have the right person for you," and he works with all types of individuals and musicians, vocalists from the DMV area. And I want you to call him. And he said, well, he was the music director for Phyllis Hyman, and he played with Al Jarreau, Prince, and he still had a discography he was giving to me about Prince. And I went on and read his bio and called him and came into one of his workshops that he has on Wednesday because he teaches Wednesday piano, vocals, and improv. And I sat in, and then afterwards we talked about what my vision was. He said, "Well, come and see me on Monday." And I came out to see him on Monday. And the other part back then, my girlfriend called. She said, "If you don't go and see Vince, I'm going to drag you over here."
I
And I
never
said,
knew that part.
yeah, my girlfriend Carol, because she said, "What are you going to do now that my husband passed in 2009, my daughter passed in 2009, my husband passed in 2011, and my granddaughter had gone off to college." So she said, "What are you going to do now?" And so I said, "Well, I'm thinking about going back to music." And so she said, "Well, when are you going to start?" And so then, like I said, Bill Heyman had told me about Vince, and I went in to see him. And then I came back on that Monday, and we started talking about what my vision was, what I was trying to do, and everything with my vocals. And as they would say, the rest is history. I've been with him for what, since 2016, and excuse me, he kept me sequestered for about a year, getting the vocals and everything ranges back. And then January 2017, he said, "You're ready to do your CD." But first, he took me down to Westminster
Trial by
with
fire.
with a jazz, which is a jazz club in Washington D.C. on 4th Street, is where they have on Monday nights they have blues, and on Friday nights they have jazz, and all people come from all over the world to hear there.
Mm.
That was my trial by fire, and so we were doing four women. And afterwards, I said, "Okay, you're going to critique me now, lady." He said, "That was your critique. These are jazz heads, and when they gave you a standing ovation, and everybody's come to ask you if you had a CD or a business card, that was your trial by fire, and you
Mm.
passed."
Awesome.
That is awesome.
A good story. So, what I gather is that you were singing earlier in life and then you rested, if you will, for lack of a better word. And then you came back to music, like you explained earlier. Your granddaughter was off to college and your friend said, what are you going to do now? So were you in music before? And if so, how involved were you before? And what were you doing in music?
Well, I was in music before, but I wasn't doing anything on this scale because I worked for the federal government for 38 years and I modeled professionally. And I knew music was going to take a lot of time that I knew I wasn't going to have to put into it and have a family as well. And so I dabbled here and there, did private, functions and so forth. But if to this magnitude of being an independent artist and financing my own CDs, at that time I was not ready. And I just always said God has a blueprint for all of us. And when we're born, that blueprint is put in place. And so things I feel went within God's order. And I'm where I'm supposed to be now, because when everybody kept asking me, when are you going to start singing again? I said, when God places me with who I'm supposed to be with and order my steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, amen to that. You can't top that.
Absolutely.
That's great. Well, you sound like, when I listen to your music, sounds like you have been singing consistently for a long time. So what I think many people, I remember hearing a promoter or some kind said, "Oh, once you leave your 20s, it's over in music," And I disagreed then, and
Not at all.
Especially since I'm back in music, I totally disagree. I think music is something that you can continue doing till you're 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
If that were the case, we would never get an Algie Road. Algie Road or Bill Withers.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't start until their 40s.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I totally disagreed then, and I'm so blessed to see, you and Vince, both of you not agreeing with this, and so many other people. Because I don't know, Gary, most of the people that are on our show are at 40s on up.
Yeah.
And they're doing well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're
It
right.
depends on the material too. If you're gonna do Rihanna material, then yeah, you might not want to do that in your 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can rearrange it. See, you're a player. You know how to do this. You can rearrange it. You can make. I've seen smooth jazz artists take a Rihanna tune, like work song. I've done it, and turn and play sax on it and smooth it out a little bit. You can do it. But so we have to know. I mean, listening to your music, I listened. I said, I'm familiar with that title, and I realized that what you guys did was you took some classic songs and re-recorded in such a beautiful way. It's so classy. It's so pristine. It's just wonderful. And I think that I applaud you for doing this, so we won't lose where we came from, if that makes sense.
Thank you. It does.
I love that, and
Yeah.
it's done so well, and I just encourage everybody. You're on Spotify, you're on all major digital network radio stations and digital sales, and I always encourage people, when you hear the music, because you heard 2 tracks before we came on the air, Sack Full of Dreams and Save Your Love for Me. I love that song. Oh my goodness. You know what I mean? You took me back to Nancy Wilson and, these classy people. So I appreciate you for doing this, and I applaud you. And I see you, both of you, Hazel, especially you, when you hear your story, because Vince, you've been there, done that, you've played consistently. But here is a mother who put things to the side, so to speak, and now she's done that work, and now she's doing another work. So you remember I'm giving my age away, but you remember you're never too old for Kool-Aid?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Too.
Absolutely.
So that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Vince,
Yes, ma'am.
hear from you. Let's hear from you. I heard that you played for Prince and Al Jarreau and what's some other artists you played for? And tell us about your experience with playing with these major artists.
Oh, sure. I've worked a lot. I've been fortunate to work across a lot of different genres of music with different people. I mean, I played with jazz people like Stanley Turrentine and Hubert Laws and Grady Tate and people like that. But then I've also been with Shirley Caesar. I've been with Daryl Coley. I've been with Fred Hammond. I've been with Commission. But then I've also been with a lot of blues artists and Chuck Brown of the DC Go-Go scene. As well as, the more well-known names such as Prince and George Duke and Patrice Rushen, Lenny White, it's a long list.
I
I
know.
forget more than I remember sometimes.
I know it. Wow.
They're all well known to me.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know that line. I've been a lot of places in my life and time. It's certainly true of my career.
Hmm.
That's beautiful. I have one question because I know Mac he has a lot of questions for you. How important it is for a keyboard player to be versatile in terms of musical genres? How important is that? Do you think?
Well, that's a personal choice. It depends on what you like to do. I have some piano players that are wonderful friends of mine that are terrific piano players, but they don't take an interest outside of the scope of this music. So they'll only get the calls for those types of gigs. You know, the wedding that we just played at last night, I had to play everywhere from Elton John music to Tchaikovsky to
Oh,
Bach to
okay.
some Broadway songs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always developed an appreciation for a lot of styles of music because we had them all in our household. I'm the baby of a musical family. So
Okay.
my big brother listened to everything. I might be listening to Miles Davis and John Coltrane on one day, and Ernestine Anderson, or you know, it could be anyone on any given day. Bob Marley, all across all genres.
Hmm.
Now, what age did you start getting off into the music?
Well, that's a good question. I left this area as a teenager to go to Berklee College of Music, and I studied there. After my 4 years at Berkeley, when I got my degree was actually in music production and engineering. And
Okay.
I immediately left for the road. By the time I was 25, I had 2 passports full of stamps from everywhere. My first national tour was with Pieces of a Dream.
Okay.
And that's how I met Lenny White, who later turned me on to, who also turned me on to Prince and some other things that I led. One thing has always snowballed into another. That's how I got with Phyllis Hyman, was from playing with Pieces of a Dream in Grover, Washington.
Wow.
Okay, okay.
And I'm just interested. What was your affiliation with Prince when you did get to work with him?
What did you say?
No, I said I was just curious. What was your what did you do when you did get to work with Prince? I was just kind of curious about that, Vince.
What did I do with what?
When
I
you
didn't
work
hear the question.
With Prince.
With Prince.
Oh, what did I do with Prince?
Yes.
Well, that was kind of a surprise. You know, when you first get around Prince, Prince doesn't call you. You don't know that you're going to go play with Prince. At least I didn't.
Okay.
I got the call from Larry Graham. Our connection. I had met Prince on a few occasions because I played with Lenny White, and great musicians like to hear other great musicians and pull from each other and talk to each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had played some clubs in London and stuff like that with Ronnie Scott's, with Lenny White's group, and Prince was there, and I knew he was there, and I met him on that level, and on different occasions working with different bands. But on this occasion, Larry called me and he says, "Well, I got a studio session in Minneapolis. Can we fly you in?" I said, "Of course you can fly me in." He flew me in, and it wasn't until I got there and I arrived there, I knew that I was going to Paisley Park Studios.
Wow.
And we were working with the artist that Larry was producing, as far as I knew. But I knew that Prince would be there once all of the non-disclosure agreements came out. The long, feel like you're buying a house.
Yeah.
Piece of paper on purple paper that you had to sign.
Right.
And the 3 rules of Paisley Park were you couldn't eat meat, you couldn't smoke, and you couldn't curse. You had to be really watch your behavior. Those were his personal rules in Paisley Park. You know.
Wow.
You couldn't curse? Oh my goodness! In the
Couldn't
music
curse.
industry. Hazel, were you as surprised as I am? Huh?
No, I was just like, well, don't make me then.
Every now and then he may curse and say, "Oh, excuse me."
I know.
Curse around, yes, yes, I'm used to.
That's amazing. That was a good question, Gary. That's amazing. That I never expected that. I'll be honest with you, that he would sign no cursing, no smoking, maybe no smoking. Just if you're health conscious, I can understand that, and we know what smoke does to your furniture and everything else.
Right.
But
Yeah,
okay.
but not eating meat. Lord, boy, I'm carnivorous. Boy, I got to have that.
Well,
Well, he was
households,
a
you
he was a
know.
vegetarian.
You can
Yeah.
say
You're
you only walk on
vegetarian.
your left foot if you want to, if it's your house.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
That's
God,
right. His
Yeah.
house. He writes
I
the
could
rules.
put up with anything for a day or two.
Oh yeah.
I know that's right.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
I
doubt
made
about
it.
it.
I didn't get dismissed, but I did. The drummer did arrange to have some cigarettes or something. If something went on with the drummer on that particular date, and then you just looked up and a couple hours later he was just curiously missing, and Prince was on drums. So
Yeah.
Like we said, that's his house.
yeah,
And it's rules. Yeah, I agree with you there. You may not like it. What did you say? You're there for a couple of days? You can handle that. And they're paying you too? Come on.
well, as a result, I'm in the vault, and if anything comes out, everything is. He was very meticulous about recording, about having everyone's information of anything. So in future recordings, if things were to come out, they'd know exactly what I was on and what I played and all of that. So I'm in the vault along with hundreds of other musicians. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That
I
is awesome.
understand.
Yeah.
So Hazel,
Yes.
at a young age, when did you start doing your vocals? Start your vocals.
I really started around 10 or 11, and one of the things which I didn't realize, they say music is cathartic for you when the situation at home isn't what you want it to be. Well, music was my refuge. And the one thing that I didn't realize that my sister told me was when my brother's first CD came out, my brother said, "Can she sing?" And my sister said, "That's all she ever did." She said she never talked to us. She always sang. And because I had a stepmom, it was literally like the Cinderella story, music was my refuge. And someone asked me before if I knew that I would be doing music at this age. I said absolutely. It never left me, even though I meandered and went over here and worked with federal government, retired after 38 years, model profession. I knew music was always going to be there because it was just a passion in my soul. And my uncle gave me a transistor radio, if you know what those are.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I would just listen to, tell my age now, but I would listen to all the music. Then my uncle, I would listen to his albums. So music has always been in my life. And my mom was a singer. My sister, she had her own band down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where I was born, but I was raised here in D.C. And then my younger brother and sister won Showtime at the Apollo.
Wow.
What was his name?
Louis Marquez and we call him Pop. Louis Marquez and Lopez and Carolyn Lucas.
Okay.
So I knew this was going to be my life, but it was just when God ordered my steps and put me with who I was with. Because a funny story was, before I started coming to dance, I went to this guy named Gerald Dudley who teaches music in D.C. And when I walked in and was telling him what I was interested in, he said, "Well, let me hear you sing." So I started singing. He said, "Are you a plant?" I said, "A plant?" He said,
A plant?
"Did you here to check out my studio?" I said, "No, I saw your advertisement and decided to come in." And so he said, "I'm not telling you to get your money, but I don't have individuals coming in with the it factor, the total package in the voice. You should be out there performing there." I said, "I got to do some work before I get back out." And so I was with him for about 2 or 3 months, and then I was introduced to Vince.
Okay.
38 years for the government. What did you do for the feds?
Well, I was a
It's a secret. Top secret.
I was a program analyst at I worked for the Department of Agriculture for 31 years and the Department of Labor for 7.5 years.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so when you see all the organic USDA information out, I worked on that program under the federal under the Office of Management and Budget and Information Collections Paper Production Act.
Yeah, I'm retired from the federal government also.
Yeah.
I've done 31, but I'll tell you, they pisses me off. I go find me another job somewhere else.
Well,
Keep it moving.
I had good supervisors in each one of my positions. And when I retired from the Department of Labor, I was doing performance management that dealt with a lot of the budgets. So we had the three budgets from departmental, congressional, and office of management and budget. So
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of things. Direct inventory, human resource management, just to name a few.
Now, since you did work for the government and you're a singer, did you ever perform with any of those functions that they have, or what?
Believe it or not, no one knew that I was a singer.
Oh Lord, is that right?
No one knew. And some of my family members didn't either. When I went to my uncle's 90th birthday party in Atlanta, the band was playing, and so my cousin said, she sings. My uncle wanted to hear her sing his favorite song at last. And I thought, I didn't come here to sing. So I ended up singing with the band, and everybody's mouth just dropped up. We didn't know you could sing.
Well, you kept it a secret working for the government. I don't know how you done that.
Because I always separated my personal life from the business life.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew that I modeled professionally either for the federal government. I would take leave and go and do fashion shows, or take a week off and go to a photo shoot or something.
Oh, okay. Now that works. That works.
You know the old saying, loose lips sink ships, and when people get into your business, then things happen.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
That's wisdom.
Yeah.
That's wisdom. People didn't know either. One lady heard me play. She said, when did you have time to learn how to play? I said, no, this doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It does not happen overnight. And it was back then when I was in my early years. I used to practice because I didn't have private lessons in high school. And I saw how these kids were coming from magnet schools and they knew all this theory. So I would literally practice up to 6 hours a day, take all my classes in the morning, and spend the rest of the day trying to catch up, if you will. But
And
then
that's
I
pretty
pick it all
much-
up.
And that's pretty much what we all do who don't have the formal training like a lot of the musicians have out here, because for one reason or another.
Right.
Yeah.
But since you got with Vince, well, I'm telling you, your record's getting ready to move.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's getting ready to move.
Yeah.
And Vince, boy, I can tell you, you said you worked for Jerome.
Yes, sir.
Boy, I'm telling you, I used to do staging in Oklahoma with I've done it with, Shaka Khan and Al DeRoe. Al said, he said, Mac, I said, what? He said, look here, I need me a drink. He had plenty of drink in the dressing room. He wanted to ride around the city to look. Boy, look here, we went up there, I think it was Hammond. I think it was Hammond liquor store on the northeast side. Boy, he bought a big old bottle of cognac. Me and them guys just blow away off that yak. He said, just put me in an old ragged car. We don't care. It don't make no difference. I had a piece of car there. So go over there and go
He didn't care.
He didn't care. Boy, we had a blast.
Yeah.
Me and him.
He was a
Yeah.
real person, man.
Yeah. And I told him, if I ever have a son, he's got to have your first name. My baby boy, his name is Taiwan Jiro.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I had a blast with it.
Mm-hmm. Now, earlier, we was kind of talking a little bit about on the education side of things and stuff. So I wanted to kind of get with Vince on that. Vince, you do some teaching as well, don't you? From what I read on you. Can you not hear me good?
He said you did some teaching as well.
I did some teaching as well.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm following the question.
Did I not read that you also educate students in music as well?
Oh yes. I've been teaching since 1987.
Nice.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that. What is it like to teach?
I've had some good times and some bad times. I used to teach at Ellington School of the Arts. I felt coming up the way I came up and having been trained in the manner that I was, that at the time, a lot of the students that were spoiled there, it's like, man, we didn't have stages and dressing rooms and lighting and sound and monitors and lavalier microphones and, lessons in dance and all this. And you guys have all of this material, and I can't get you to come to class on time. I ended up telling them, listen, here's my rate. I'm this much an hour. Here's my business card. The rest of you all, you can pass my card to your parents if you like. And the rest of you all, good luck with your careers. I'm out. I'm not sitting here trying to convince you what an opportunity you have
Yeah.
to learn something wonderful and to transform lives.
Right.
And that's
So
the truth, though.
I've worked better in the private sector than like teaching for a music school or teaching for other people where, okay, you have this agenda, by this time they should know this, and by that time they should know this. It depends on what they're bringing to the table and what they take away from the table.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see some students, to see them do things that they couldn't have done before, and to see that transformation. I have a lot of students who are really technically inclined. They could play all these notes at blistering tempos and all this. But I stop them and say, man, let me see you pat your foot and do that. They say, well, I can play it, but I can't play it and pat my foot. I said, well, then you should just pat your foot then. Because your playing has to go on your foot pat.
Yeah.
Right.
So to back people down and really get basic things into them where they can go anywhere, branch anywhere that they desire. It's really rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I had one student that was in her 80s when she got to me. She said, man, if I do all this stuff you telling me to do, you know how old I'll be by the time I get good at it? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, how old? I said, the same age you'll be if you don't. She said, well, all right, I'll go ahead and get started.
That's a good comeback.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that. Right now.
Wow.
I like that.
That is neat.
Another one come to me who said, well, now we have this COVID thing and I've been sheltered away and now I can focus and now I didn't realize all these things then that I wanted to do, but now I got a chance to do it. And I told him it was now then.
And that's true.
Yeah.
They really took, was taking advantage of the COVID, but they could have been doing the same thing all the time before the COVID even hit. That's what I don't know. That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, I've learned another instrument during COVID.
Because you don't become a professional musician overnight. It doesn't happen. So people didn't just start, I want to be a vocalist. I'm going to be a keyboard player. They might have shift focus. Well, I can't perform, so let me just do more recording. It's not they weren't recording before.
But they got a chance to do a lot more, because of the COVID. But
but that doesn't mean they weren't doing it.
Yeah, some that all thing they was concentrating on playing. Like one of my friends, which I'm talking about. I ain't gonna call his name because they might be listening.
Look, man, Bill Withers laid the pavement a long time ago. Look at Bill Withers' career. How many times you seen Bill Withers out anywhere?
Yeah.
I'm so fortunate that I got a chance to play with Bill Withers in England and all these places because Bill never came out. He never was interested in coming out. He put his records out and he didn't want to be out in front and out on stage and all that. And he didn't have to be. Wasn't no COVID then.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. I think he did all right, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But speaking of that, so we have one CD released with these classic songs. Very well done. What's next? Are you going to go on a tour? Do you plan to? Cause I know we're coming out of COVID, so there's more time to tour and do more shows. But what's your plan? Anyone can answer.
That is the plan.
Okay, all right.
That is the plan. Jazz Beyond Borders that I'm with, they're working on that now. And so we have a show coming up on June 13th at Cafe Mezzanotte in Severna Park, Maryland, which is the CD release, which is for the show is from 4 to 6, and the tickets are $25, and they're on instant seat. And then we have a show coming up on August the 14th down in Cambridge, Maryland at the Harriet Tubman Museum. So we plan, these are all outdoor events for social distancing, but we are looking at the touring part as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Because I think this could be a wonderful tour, in Vegas, because we need some variety.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you guys are doing this. I was telling somebody how I can go from country to classical and everything in between. Of course, there's some music that I like a little better than the others, but I can listen to it all. I can, when you said you played Tchaikovsky, I said, oh, how awesome is that?
Yes.
I would have been so elated to hear you do some Broadway and then go to Tchaikovsky or Chopin, and I love that. So I think that people need that variety. I would even say that you could have a bill with variety. I don't know, may not work, because there are people like us that love variety. To me, it's just like I get a plate of food. I just don't want meat. I just don't want chicken. I want some vegetables. I want, and then a little dessert.
Yeah.
And after, I'm supposed to be cutting back on that because I'm one of those victims of quarantine weight, but that's another story. But
I think we all are.
Just
Yeah.
Hey, man, now, don't start, Charles. Don't start about eating now. I'm getting hungry now. Don't start.
Stop it.
Talking about
So,
this TV.
But I wish I lived closer. If you guys are ever in the Dallas, Texas area, Oklahoma, I would love to come. If you're touring this way,
Well, we need to find the venues there that are open that we can tour it. I'll be more than happy to come to any state.
Oh, won't you try this? Won't you try Black Arts and Letters here in Dallas?
Black Arts and Letters.
Black Arts and Letters.
Junior Black is J-Ball, J-B-A-A-L.
Right. And,
Junior Black Arts. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh my bad.
it's Black Arts and Letters.
J-Ball is a lot easier to say, right?
Yeah, that's a great venue.
That's a
Okay,
good
I'll
venue.
have Pauline to look into that. But one of the things that we did from the first CD that we did and on to the second one, we wanted to have a variety and have more fun with it. That if you listen to Spirit in the Dark, we had a ball with that.
Is that the one that was real bluesy?
Do a Movie is a real bluesy one. The Spirit in the Dark is a churchy one.
Okay.
So
I
just
love
showing the variety of music and having something for everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all good. So if you're ever in this area, you know what I mean. Is your agent Jazz Beyond Borders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I know what some of them will do. They look for venues in certain areas and they start the promo. The challenge has always been how much is this venue? And Mac knows this because he does shows. It can be up to $3,000 just to get a venue, right, Mac?
Yeah, right along in there.
Yeah.
And some of them just a little bit more. Because just before my wife passed, I was looking at Arts and Letters with Curtis Jackson, which he's the founder of the Arts and Letters. And I got I think the seats.
That was King.
And Curtis King, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't know why Jackson was on my mind, Curtis King. And
That's go ahead, I'm sorry.
the main stage, I think it's 1,800 people. And he got one hell of a mailing list, so people do come out. Then they got the other room upstairs called the T-Ball. And I think it seats about 300 people there. They had a young lady that we had on the show, Jasmine Gent.
Yes.
Jasmine Gent on the show and everything. And she's gonna be in Tulsa when
September 4th.
September 4th.
Yeah.
So, they got a lot of venues around in the area. But this one here is very classic. The man, he's got Emmys that he's won for what he's done with the Arts and Letters there. So it's a very
And one
classic.
thing about Dallas, they love people from out of state coming in.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
It's
right.
like Jesus. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, the thing when we did, I don't know if Vincent talked to you about when we did the City Winery in D.C. He had an orchestra,
Oh,
So
nice.
Hazel Bell and the Vince Evans Orchestra at City Winery in DC, and it was well received. And everybody wants to know when you're coming back with the orchestra.
Uh-huh. Very
I mean,
nice.
people want that variety. But
Yes,
you know what? We have to be willing to pay for it, if I might say
yes.
that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Who was that? Phil French.
Yeah.
He lives here in Dallas, and he's always in Maryland or DC doing his
Right.
performance.
He called me one day. How do I get people? I said, this is Dallas, Bill.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Even a lady I know that used to work for Sony Records back in the 80s and 90s, and she told me if I had to start an artist, I could never start them in Dallas. There's just no way. I have to make them popular and then bring them back. They could have the same exact skill they had before. Nothing has changed.
Mm.
But once you get, you blow up on the radio or you get a Grammy or something, then okay, now we come to see you. It's like
Yeah.
Frank Beverly and Mays. I
They
love it.
They
Playing
live.
the same song, what, for 35, 40 years?
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
don't have a song,
Nope.
but yet, what, Mac, they come here twice a year and
It's
always
twice a year.
sell out.
Sells out. But I think Hazel. I think Fort Worth is more aggressive than Dallas
Hmm.
because they have a lot of entertainment that comes into Fort Worth also, and that's where Joe McBride is from. You heard of him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
I don't know. Triple Threat that where it was featured, they were about half full in Fort Worth, but they were sold out in Houston the next night.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
That's his
She has an
business.
agent that reached out to me. She said, Joyce, they are calling me saying, can you give me a stand-up ticket? Anything. They wanted to come in. It's a fantastic show. 3 ladies. They're touring around doing like a Vegas style show, changing clothes. It's very entertaining.
Mhm.
And I loved it. So I was honored that she asked me to come and be a part of it, just for that show, of course. But the people that were there realized this is a great show. But the next night they were going to a sellout show, and I don't know why that happens. Somebody who can talk about that is Vince. Why is this such an unpredictable business?
I cannot speak to that. I'm out of my lane on that question.
Well, you've been doing this for what is the word?
All I can say is that through the years I've endured, and I've endured a lot. I've
Mhm.
been in some real comedic situations, and I've been in some real many life-threatening situations.
Wow.
And I flew to Russia when the day that they had that flight that exploded on the runway. I flew into Moscow that day and saw the carnage on the runway on the same airline.
Wow.
And I got to see that carnage and then get on that same airline and fly to the other side of Russia, which is as long as the flight to get to Moscow to go to Vladivostok on the other side. And then I got to come back. They flew me back in, and when I came into JFK on 9/11. I said, man, what did you pay $20 for these tickets? Are you trying to kill me?
Yeah. Who was that with Moscow? Wasn't that Aziza Miller?
Hmm.
And she had went to Moscow, and we interviewed her with her CD. And next thing we know, that she was on her way to Moscow to do her show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. But
So, do you guys think you would go back to Europe and perform?
I would love
I'll
to.
go anywhere.
I'll go anywhere too. My criteria is I was telling Pauline when she was asking me that question. I said my only sticking point is that Vince has got to be with me. If we have to get the musician, once we get there, Vince has to go with me as my music
Your
director.
MD.
Yeah, as my music director. There's no cutting corners on that. And he will make sure that the musicians that we get are the caliber of what we have here, because we have on each CD I've had the same musicians, and they are absolutely dynamic.
That's awesome.
They are.
And they have their own CDs out, and when Vince calls to tell them it's me, they're right there with me.
Mm.
So we have a great group of musicians House on the trumpet, Craig Austin on sax, James V. King on bass, the great James V. King, J.C. Jefferson on drums, and and Vince Evans, of course, on piano. I mean, we just have some dynamic and awesome musicians in the DMV.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Had
the
the
thing is,
opportunity to work with them.
but if they, if you go overseas, they want to pay for it, take the whole group over there.
I will now. I will take the whole group with me overseas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just amazing. This city is so ripe with music and vocalists, and to have the opportunity to do this and to work with this man. I mean, I've truly been blessed. And on the gig for June 13th, I have the great Herman Burney playing with me, and he plays with everybody, along with my regular people.
Well, I look at it like this. If you got a good man that's besides you doing what he do, then if you get to squabbling, you better hurry up and make it up, because you have to keep him in your pocket.
We don't fuss.
No,
We do not fuss.
I'm just
That's the beauty of this relationship.
I'm just messing.
Our mindset is the same, because when I started talking about the first CD, Stronger Than Ever, and I was telling him what my vision was, I wanted the orchestra. I wanted, the big band sound. I look at the icons of the Nancy Wilsons, the Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan's, and the Dinah Washington. I like that elegance, what they stood for.
Right.
The Phyllis Hyman's, the Layla Hathaways. This is the type of music I want to bring.
Yeah.
You got the right person for it, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Oh.
Explain to her. Okay, go ahead, Gary.
Well, I was just gonna try to take a break and put some music on.
Okay.
Let everybody kind of do that. Listen to it. So, being that we were talking about, there was a particular track you said that was a little bit different in the variety of the collection that you have. The Spirit in the Dark. Tell us a little bit about that one.
That was a tune written by Aretha Franklin, and Vince and I were discussing the songs that we were going to put on the CD. He said, "You know what? I think we need to do Spirit in the Dark." And the arrangement and the musicianship. I said, "Okay." And the Lomax was doing background. It was so much fun making it. We had a blast.
All right, cool.
But that was the way of saying how much to Aretha. It was between that and It Won't Be Long, the blues song of hers from way back. And so let's do Spirit in the Dark.
Okay, well let's do that, and we'll keep it locked right here, and we'll be right back.
Getting the spirit in the dark.
I'm gonna move, hidden in the dark. Oh, I'm gonna move, yeah. Spirit in the dark, yeah. I said, oh, when I wake up in the morning, y'all, said I'm gonna move.
I'm getting the spirit.
Spirit in the dark.
It's like Sally Walker sitting in her saucer. Ain't nothing to it. Just get up and do it.
Listen, it's just like a movie star. Ooh, talking to Ray Charles.
With the spirit, say I wanna groove. With the spirit, whoa, move. With the spirit, say I wanna groove. With the spirit. I know I got it. Move with spirit, 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 move with spirit. Whoa, move with the spirit, move with 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 spirit.
You don't stop clapping to judge my claps. I know where I'm clapping.
I couldn't
Wow, I felt
get.
like I was like, okay, wait a minute.
I couldn't get into that. I mean, I couldn't keep.
Do I move you? Are you willing? Do I groove you? Is it thrilling? Do I soothe you? Tell the truth now. Do I move you? Let's get loose now. The answer better be yeah, yeah. That pleases me. Got a question for you, fellas. Are you ready for this action? Does it give you satisfaction? Are you hip to what I'm saying? If you are now, let's start swaying. The answer better be yeah, yeah. That pleases me. Come on, let's play some blues up here tonight, Alvin. Oh, when I touch you, do you quiver? From your head right down to your liver. If you like it, let me know it. Don't be psychic, boy, you blow it. The answer better be yeah, yeah. The answer better be yeah, yeah. The answer better be yeah, yeah. Great God Almighty, that pleases me. so strong and so pure, it echoes all through me. I am so sure that we were meant to be here, sharing this love we share. Meet me on the moon. Oh, please don't be late. You know how I hate to wait, 'cause you're so great. Fly into my love, that's what I need, so my spirit can be free in the everlasting moment of love. Oh, I feel your symphony, so strong and so pure, it echoes all through me. I am so sure that we were meant to be here, sharing this love we share. You'll be my love, and I'll be yours too, as long as the sun wants a heaven. Tell me you'll be my love. Oh, here's what we'll do. We'll skywrite our love through the heavens. The echoes of your love will sing through our lives forever. Ooh, forever. this bitter earth. Well, what fruit it bears, what good is love that no one shares?
Just certain people.
And if my life,
You don't have to worry about us because we're so far away from you. So you're
That's
safe.
okay. When you do come, just let me know. I got you covered.
Okay. I love gourmet cooking, different, just love that.
Well, he does his Facebook thing, and so people come on and he gives some tips about cooking as well. He's a man of many talents.
Well, you need to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're not on the air, right, Gary?
Yeah, but we're not visual.
But they can hear us,
They
right?
can hear us. They're listening
Okay,
right
well,
now.
good. Well, tell us about your gourmet cooking, your Facebook page.
Well, me playing music in a lot of places, had a lot of free time on my hands in other countries and stuff where I only got to perform 3 hours a night for 5 nights a week. What am I going to do with these other 21 hours? So they'd get free labor, and I'd get free practice in the language and figure out how they did this and how they did that. And I just worried the mess out of all the sous chefs at the restaurants where I worked until they told me, well, this is how we got this is how we got that. Mm-hmm. And I always loved to cook, even in my college days. We weren't supposed to have hot plates in the room and stuff. And he said, you got chicken in there? I said, no. Well, give me some of it. And I brought the people that were supposed to be telling on me, they wouldn't say anything. Mess with their fried chicken supply. I was doing stuff all that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And actually, when I was out with Bill Withers, I thought Bill was a little nutty because he would find out where the local grocery store was, jog there, come back with some olive oil and collard greens and stuff, wash them in the bathtub, and come like, man, this is a nut. And here I was, we were jogging and working out and stuff, and he's 50 then. I had to be in my early 30s. And I'm like, slow down, Bill. How come I'm the only one out of breath? And so 6 months later, I was the one with juice on my backpack and some hot plates and cooking soups and stews and jogging to the grocery store. So he influenced me greatly on that.
Oh, wow. What's your favorite dish to prepare?
Ooh, there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's what
the last one I made, whatever the last one is. Lately, this week I've been doing a lot of thin crust pizzas. I've been doing New Orleans gumbo.
Oh,
shrimp.
That's
I
my
like
territory.
Irish stews and stuff like that. And
That gumbo's
Spanish
in the
cuisine. I
room.
mean, just about every cuisine has something that I love in it that I make. So I move around a lot.
How do you prepare your roux? Gumbo.
Time prepares my gumbo, my roux. Mm-hmm. It's always even amount of fat and oil. So regular bleached flour, vegetable oil, or butter, whatever you're going to use. I use vegetable oil because I heat it up to about 200 degrees.
Okay.
You want it around there because if it's too hot, it will spatter on you and it'll get too dark too fast. And if you got it too low, you be there for 3 hours and it'll be the same color as you and not the same color as me. It's just time. You gotta stir it constantly and just watch the transformation till it get that deep copper color. Then you know you're ready to move on.
Right.
Well, as they say, it's all in the roux, how it's made.
is
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You ain't
telling
got
you,
no good roux. You ain't got no good gumbo.
you sure don't, and I sure
And
don't
that's
like
one
it.
thing I love because you can't just go somewhere and buy that.
No.
You know, I'm going to go buy me a jar of roux. No, you got it. That makes you respect time.
No, I like it where it's kind of thick, but not too thick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't like it watery. You know, shit that.
Right. But then
Well,
the
it's a
okra aids
challenge.
in that too.
Huh?
The okra aids in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, my mama was a master at doing roux. I'd watch with that big black skillet, and I tried it, and she told me, get out of the way. She said, get out of the way. Well, how am I going to learn? She's looking, and she would whip it, and she would just stay focused on it. And it didn't take her a long time.
Well, he showed me how to cook a Brazilian stew, and once I cooked it at home, he said, "Send me a picture so I can make sure you did it right."
And that's amazing. When I grew up on gumbo and etouffee, and that was a local culture that was really not thought of being a gourmet of any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
My mom told me it was poor folk stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you
Sure.
could feed a lot of people.
Right.
But
My
now,
heritage too.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
now
My parents are
you
from North Carolina. Both my parents are from North Carolina. So we
Uh-huh.
come up on all of this stuff. that
Yep.
They threw
Yeah,
away
I mean-
the low cuts, and then we made gourmet meals out of.
Yeah, and
know
now
that-
it's gourmet. And you go to restaurants, and I'm like, y'all know about gumbo? And y'all know about
Yeah.
etouffee? You know?
Oh, now they sell chili.
See that part. I was never a fan of that, but that's
But they
amazing.
sell it in the restaurants now.
Yeah.
Well, if you eat raw oysters, if you eat snails, if you eat fish eggs, y'all know it says cargo and whatever. But so what's the difference when you think about it?
That's true.
You know, I
That's the
don't
same thing. I think about people eating these cicadas. We got these cicadas out here. People are like, they eat cicadas. I say, well, you eat shrimp, don't you? You eat lobster. That's a big bug.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
talking about the bug, right? I'm like, is that cicadas that I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
The really loud ones that are louder than crickets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
selling them up here chocolate covered for $18 a bag.
What?
Wow.
I've never heard of that.
Well, I will eat them when I have to.
That's why I'm
Me too.
Yeah. Ugh.
I need to drop some pounds anyway. So once I get way past where I want to be, and there's nothing else available,
That's the last resort for
that's when you
survival.
gonna see me.
Yeah, you're right, Hazel. That's survival. But where can people reach out to you for cooking tips on Facebook?
Well, if you go to Facebook and just search my name, Vince Evans, you're gonna see a whole boatload of things that I've done
Okay.
that are there, and they're not in any way edited, half-hour clips of me with things all together. It's like 6 hours of me in the kitchen talking and doing it. So you scroll through. It's in real time. But I'm putting together a cooking show, which I have all the assets. I have a lot of the things already done. I just have to put it together and edit it in the way in which it's a show, and then I'll feature different people and different musicians that I have as guests, feature their music, and collaborations with other musicians I know that cook. Doc Gibbs is one in Philadelphia. That was the musical director on Emerald Show for so many years. I played with Doc many years with Diane Reeves back in the day. I could call him up and say, Doc, and Benji Parecki is another wonderful cook that we have in this area. That great musician and great cook. Every time he's putting up a cook, it's always correct.
Mhm.
Hidden treasures. All these hidden treasures that
Yes.
we're finding out. I think that's amazing. Now, Hazel,
Yes.
what is your other? We found out that he's an excellent cook. I know there's something else that you love doing that you're great at besides singing. What is it?
Yeah, eat. Okay. Yeah. But I used to cook large meals and desserts and everything when I had my husband and then everybody was living. Everybody came to my house for the barbecues and dinners on Christmas and Thanksgiving and so forth. But I'm a pretty good cook myself.
Good.
I
good.
can pat myself on the back.
All right.
I know who to call when I'm on the East Coast. Hey, I'm hungry.
And come on by.
I know.
I don't cook as much as I did in the past because it's just me now. And my granddaughter will call and say, well, can you fix X, Y, and Z for me, Grandmommy? So I'll go ahead and cook for her, but I'll eat a salad.
Okay. I understand that. I really do.
But
So,
if
Gary,
I have to, I can.
I got you. I see you got us back on, Gary. Yay.
Oh yeah, I fixed it.
And but anyway, Gary, did you have any more questions or music? I know you were off for a little bit.
No, y'all go right ahead. Y'all doing fine.
Go right ahead.
Y'all doing fine.
But I think it's really cool how you take your gifts, Vince, and you find a way to pull them together. You're a cook, musicians, having shows. That's fantastic. That's an artist mind. Always creating or reinventing themselves. I just want to I like that, what you're doing, and I hope to watch you and get some tips, and learn how to be a better cook. I'm okay, but my husband thinks it's okay. But my biggest fear is cooking for a large group of people when I have a whole lot of people come over.
Oh,
So,
I can manage that.
Yeah, that's easy
I'm
peasy.
good at that.
yeah.
All I need to know how many people, what they eating, how long they gonna be there, what time they coming, and I can say, okay, I got to get to the store at this time. I'm gonna need this many pounds of this, that many pounds of this. I got to start this the day before. I got to start that early, or else this will be on the. I'm good. I'm really good at managing that.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's good at that. We used to do Memorial Weekend, the Saturday before. We just invited a bunch of people. I think we had over 200 people at our house. Well, my husband, he went and got all the meat, and he started 2 days before getting the meat ready. And I said, okay, I can get this big old pan and with baked beans, and I think that was the secret. You have to start like ahead of time.
Well, cooking is like music.
Have to be organized.
But cooking is like music. You have to meld all the flavors together and all the music together to get the sound that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's good. That is good.
Now
Okay.
I do have a question though. I want to ask about what was the process like when you guys did the thing with the orchestra. I find that very interesting.
You mean live or you mean recorded?
Well,
Live.
and recording, but probably live for the most part. That'd be something to hear about.
Well, that was pretty easy, really, because we hired a string quartet that I got a contractor that I had worked with on some other projects at a Catholic church here in D.C., and she in turn got the string instruments that she had used to been playing with in different things. You know, strings can go from a quartet, 4 strings, to 60 strings.
Oh yeah.
But there are certain groups of people who are used to playing together and used to working together. So rather than me go around and contact 4 individual people, I played with a group that had a string section. It sounded wonderful, and I got the number of the person that was the lead player of that group, and let her select the other people to work together. Now, in terms of the arrangements, I did the orchestrations here, and I'm able to play them in using software instruments that mimic the real instruments in some cases, or actually mostly sample from those instruments. And because I used to play violin, I understand the string articulations and the bowing and the marcato and when to switch back to different bowings and so forth. I can program that stuff and play it as if I'm playing a live string.
Nice.
And put it into the program, and that gives me an idea of how it will sound. And then I can print that music. I had audio reference of what it sounds like, and I had the printed music. So it was just very easy to just send that off to the string quartet and let them deal with that on their own part. We did one rehearsal here in our living room, and we were ready to go on the record.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
It wasn't a big process at all.
all
But you
right.
had everything transcribed and ready for them to read, right?
Yes, and in fact, I had already laid the parts. They were just duplicating what was already laid. And it already had the audio reference of what it sounded like without the strings and with the strings in it, so they knew what they were mimicking. I didn't have to give a lot of direction.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so
That makes
that part was very easy.
That's very cool. Yeah. Nice.
In other words, you were prepared. You were to
Well,
make
if
it
you
easy.
don't do it that way, it costs a lot of money. You're spending a lot of time, and that time you're spending is times 4 people. That's 4 people. I got to coordinate. It's hard enough to coordinate 2 or 3 people. To get 4 people's schedules together when they all can, grown-ups, students, it's easy. But grown-ups with families and parents and elders and daycare and all this, it's a lot to get people scheduled together.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to go through 15 rehearsals to do 2 songs. So in this way, I can get 15 songs in 2 rehearsals.
Yeah.
Exactly. I get it.
That makes sense.
Off the air, I was telling you about the Tina Turner tribute band I'm a part of, and when Lala asked me to be in the horn section. I said, you're going to have parts for the horn section, right? He said, well, somebody's going to do it, and that never happened. So I just went on my program and started transcribing the horn parts. I said, we're all ladies. We got to do it right. and we got another saxophone here and a trumpet player and a trombone. They were like, oh, thank you for this. This makes it so much easier. I said, yeah. I said, but just be prepared for the leader to change. And he said, oh, we're going to go back to the chorus. So you have things like that.
Of course.
And even in the studio, I had to tell the guy, you want four horn players to just show up and you're going to sing the lyric? And what we get
unless you got Greg Boyle. Greg Boyle will spin the arrangement on the fly out of his head and tell you play this, play that, and go here and go there, and you would think he composed that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a,
but he's been playing that language for so long, and part of Prince's group in Parliament, and all of the certain players that have been around that long.
Right.
They're better off going with this extemporaneous out of their head than going out of something that's well thought out.
Yeah.
You just think about Barry White, the way he had that style so often, that big old orchestra. Boy, that.
Louis Hayes was another one like that. That's it. I mean, Isaac Hayes was another one.
Yeah, Isaac Hayes too. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Boy.
But that was one of the things when Vince and I started talking about the music. Those are the things that I was looking at. The Quincy Jones, the Isaac Hayes, the Barry Whites, and like I said, the icons whose shoulder I stand upon.
Right.
And this is the type of music I want to bring back, because all this other music is just noise.
Well, it's music to some people. It's music to some people.
Some, but for people who grew up on listening to the orchestrated music, the beautiful arrangements, that's what's missing now.
In the story.
And the story.
Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
And for me, I've been blessed that I have everything rolled into this one man. And, from the vocal coaching to, the engineering, producing, arranging, I have it all in one, rolled into one.
It's a miracle. It's a blessing and a miracle.
I did a record in a week one time when I was in the studio apartment before I moved in this house. I had a job where I knew I could move some product if I had a product.
Yeah. And
I had no product, and we did the entire record with guest musicians and everything, mixed, mastered, pressed, and done and ready in a week.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is.
That's a miracle. That's great.
Well, you guys talked about a little bit about the musicians that you do work with. You got some hand-picked ones that you like to work with, that you work with most of the time. But is there a particular set, like when you guys go out to perform live? Is it usually the same ones, or is it different ones?
Well, it depends on the arrangements and the types of song. As we say in the business, musicians come and go, but books last forever. So once the arrangements are done in this fashion and everything is pretty much through written, as long as you have a musician that has some common sense and knows, like when I played with George Duke, people would be scared, they'd hold back and stuff. He said, man, don't hold back. You here, if you didn't deserve to be here, you wouldn't be here on the stage. So go ahead and play. And if you overstep your bounds, I'll let you know. Those are the kind of situations I like to present for my musicians. I like to present musicians who are the right people in the first place. I called you because of the sensibilities and the choices that you would make. And now I want you to be free to make those choices. And if something goes off, then let me cut you back. But on the other hand, you can't get a great musician who is not going to open the book.
Right.
These parts have been, there's a reason why I chose this note.
Yeah.
It goes with that note on that instrument over here. And if this part is missing and this doesn't sound right, you have to play the parts. And then sometimes you get horn players that will play everybody's part but theirs.
Yes, we've had that.
They playing the bass line, they playing the thing. But when they get to dot, they're like, I'm not sure how that goes. How you know everybody else is
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had that happen.
Oh my
But
goodness.
you say you have a book, so that means that they have the music in front of them. You know what I mean? The charts are in front of
but
them.
then they're also not written in stone. Just because they're there It
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean that I want you to play just this verbatim at mezzo piano like it's a concert music. You know, you're looking down. These are notes. These are the must dos. And as long as you hit those must dos, anything else you hear want to throw in the pot in there, throw it in.
Okay. You see, that's a conversation that I think that you need to have when you're going in, because I understand, but I can go to another situation and they don't like that.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But the musicians that I have, we don't even have to have that conversation. We already know. We
Yeah,
already
you
know.
have to know that person, because I've played in band situations. Oh, I hate it when I hate it when the horn players do extra things. I don't like that. And if you
Right.
know that's the person who doesn't like that, okay, great, that's not a problem. But but understanding, or what was it? A friend told me that they were opening for a well-known R&B artist. So they came on the stage, sound check. An R&B artist told them, pay them. I don't want them. Just pay them
Sure.
away, because they were
Sure.
good. I don't need them to open for me. So just pay them and send them away. So here that's what I mean when I say you'll have these situations where you think, okay, I'm going to do my part and I'm not going to overdo it. Well, we need to hear more from you. Okay, I'm going to give it to you. Well, that's too much. Okay, I'll back up.
no.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes these conversations, if you don't know, and that people already know. I'll walk into a band situation. I'm used to playing with them. I already know what they want. I don't have to talk.
Well, I've been the last one of the last cruise situations that I went on. I won't mention any names, but we were in rehearsal, and admittedly, the other keyboard player that was playing with me was saying, "Hey, we're going to play Spain. You're going to play this. You take the keyboard." So I'm not that guy. I'm a good player and I can hold the bases, but I can't express any way near what you could do on this song. You're the better player to do this. And I did that, and we did the rehearsals, and I let loose, and everything flew and killed the rehearsals. When it came time for the gig, they either cut that song, or in this case, they gave the solo to the weaker keyboard player, and then put him on the spot, and he did what he could do. But then afterwards came to me and said, "Well, man, I just made a quick audible decision because the horns were in front of you, and I thought that was better for stage presentation because they could see him. Yeah, like the horns wouldn't just do like this for 8 bars while I took my solo. Come on, man.
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to upstate. It's your name. You're gonna get the glory from what I played. It's gonna be a better show. But you get musicians that are in different mindsets, and you just go with them. I just go home with look. In 3 weeks, I'm gonna be back home playing my pinball machines anyway. So let me just get through this unscathed, and nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
No, see, I'm the extreme opposite. Oh no, you do it. No, but then you understand. Of course, you understand what I mean. But it's all part of it. But I know we're winding down, and this is a question that I ask people. You guys are independent artists. What is the best thing about being independent, and what is the hardest thing?
The best thing about being an independent artist is that I don't have to answer to anyone but me for what I want to do.
Yes.
The worst part is going out and trying to get the job, get the work, because I'm not well known, and so you end up having to do more to expose yourself so that you can get out there to get known and getting your music played on the radios.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say for me, I'm in the kind of a opposite situation. I've always had more work that I could do, and work that I would enjoy doing. So because I have work that I would enjoy doing over here, there's no reason for me to take crap off of anybody over here that's doing something that I'm not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
And if it's a money issue, I'll lose the money, because you can always get more money, but you can't get more time.
True.
Yeah.
If you don't like something somebody did, I'll give you your money back, but I can't give you that time that you put into it back.
That's
the time
right.
that you could have been spending doing something else. So I really, really value time more so now than ever. The easiest thing is the same thing for me. As Hazel said, you don't have to answer to anyone. If somebody calls me to do stuff that I typically don't do, go in and do this last minute thing or go play some a wedding thing or a funeral thing or whatever, I go in with the attitude of I'm bringing the best of what I got. But if anything begins to go south, I'm in my car faster than you can say.
Yeah.
In fact, the last gig I played, I ran into a lady, and she said, "You're Vince Evans, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She says, "I used to play for, I won't name the name, but I used to be in such and such Baptist church, and we had a raggedy choir. You really made us good, and you did this and you did that." She said, "But we were playing at some church that was." As soon as she said that, I said to myself, "I know exactly how she's going to finish this. This is a church way out in the middle of nowhere. It took me like 3 hours of driving in a monsoon to get there. And I got there as soon as I could. All the directions were turned by the third tree and the second branch and the third creek. And I'm in the car for 4 hours or whatever trying to get to this place. I get there, step out of my car right into a thing of mud and get my suit all muddy. And I walk into the church, and that pastor was at the pulpit. And I guess he figured he'd use his pulpit as anything, and he says over the microphone, "Yeah, there comes my late piano player." And she says, "I'll never forget, you came right in from the back of the church, walked right through to the front of the church, and got in your car. We ain't seen you since." And she said, "That was you, wasn't it?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, that was. So that's the greatest thing, the freedom in that.
Yeah, the freedom.
I don't care if I make less money. I don't care if I drive this car instead of that car or this house instead of that house. As long as I have a house and a car and I can get around and I'm comfortable and do some things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
It's fine. You make your own. You make your own hell or heaven.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
That is so
success.
true.
That's what I call success.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked me, "Do you want to be famous?" I said, "No, I want to be successful." I said, "Murderers are famous."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what you just this is what I strive for. Not, "Oh, I'm this and everybody's worshiping me," God, okay, cool.
But the
But-
one good thing that Vince told me, sorry for cutting you off, when
No,
I started down this path, he said, "It's not about being famous." I said, "It's never been about being famous for me. It's about being successful and doing good or great music."
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And leaving people with feeling better about themselves, or you
Yes.
know what I mean? If
Well,
whether
that's why
it's
I play music in the first
2000.
place.
Yeah.
That's why I play music in the first place. Because my aunt had a rest home in North Carolina. And if left in a room with them for several hours, I couldn't last in a conversation for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But before my feet could reach those pedals, I started playing Amazing Grace. I could be there for hours and not a word would be spoken. And people that just had this this catatonic look on their face now they want to feed themselves. Or they shed a tear, or they smile, or they laugh, or they share a story, or an
And
anecdote.
that's what it's all
And
about.
you realize you can move people without knowing anything about them. It has nothing to do with age, how much money you made, how intelligent you are, or whatever. It's just we both in the room with this beautiful sound that we both identify
Yes.
with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never forget that. It doesn't matter what the format is, whether it's a 8-track or a cassette or digital medium or download or MP3, how all those things change.
Right.
But the main reason of why we do what we do, and how we treat each other and how we
Yes.
grow on each other, that doesn't change.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
And music is healing.
Yes, it
It
is.
is.
It's
And when
healing.
you understand that, you understand the power of music,
Yes.
Mhm.
it perverted, it can do just as much harm as good.
Good, yeah.
If you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
when I played at a retirement home and the man got out his wheelchair and started dancing, and the staff
Sure.
was like, "Whoa!"
I've seen that many times. I've seen that many times.
And he was like, because I realized at this particular place they didn't want slow music, they wanted R&B, the old school R&B, and I did Back to Life. What's the name of that group? Back to Life. But anyway, and he got up and he started dancing, and one lady got up on a wheelchair and forgot she couldn't walk, so the staff had to run and get her. So yeah, that's the power of music, and I really enjoy what you guys are doing. I love your stories too. It's so
Thank you.
inspiring. Because you have musicians who are listening, who are independent artists as well.
Yeah.
So it's great that you inspire me. I know you're inspiring people. And
Wonderful.
Thank
Gary,
you.
you put it in archives. You can go back when it's in archives. You can still see the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yes.
playing back. You can see some of the comments.
Yeah.
But I do have a website that they can go to, hazelmitchellbellmusic.com.
I already found it.
And then-
when I open it up, I said, "Oh, she's gorgeous." And then you say you're a model. You used to be, and I wanted to say to you, you can still be a model.
Yeah, people been trying to get me to go back out, but music is my first love. Music is my first love.
Yeah, I would go and get some of that fast money like that. I'm sure we'll get some of that money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah.
Wait, we got work to do.
whatever.
Yes,
I
sir.
said they're gonna have to wait. We got other work we're doing right now.
That's right.
Yeah. And Vince, you have a website as well, right?
Yes, just VinceEvans.com. That's my name.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, gosh, it's such a joy to have both of you today, and we really, really do appreciate the stories, and definitely would love it if you guys definitely come back and revisit us later on. You know, we can definitely want to keep up with the things that you guys are going to be doing, because I know it's going to be great. You guys, just awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
thank
happy to be
you.
here.
Mm-hmm.
It has been truly a pleasure. A great way of spending an evening.
Good.
Or afternoon, I
It's
should
sure,
say.
it's sure been our pleasure having you on this show.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Thank
Take
you.
that to Africa.
Is there? Yeah.
Well, I might be able to do the show from Africa
Hey.
next week.
You won't have that chair. But anyway.
Well, I'll be on I'll be on one of them straw chairs or something over there. But now I'm taking my laptop, and plus I got it on my phone too. So we're gonna see.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna see.
Okay. Well, before we close, I just want to thank everybody in the chat room as well. I'm just now looking in there, and I can see some of our good friends in there. So definitely wanted to shout out. I guess let me see who's all in there right now. Look like I see there's Henry, Keith, Gia. I see there's there's Clarence. I see Clarence and Colleen. Yeah. And
Diane Jenkins.
hey, Diane, and who else I see? And I see something else in there. Let's see.
T. Clay.
D. Clay, yeah. And Gia Hyatt.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you. And again, Hazel and Vince, is there anything else you want to let our viewers and listeners know? You have some upcoming events that are coming up that for the ones that may be in the area that would like to come out and see you guys.
Yes, we have the CD release at Cafe Mezzanotte on June the 13th, which is in Severna Park, Maryland. And the tickets are online at InstaSeat. And it's social distancing, limited seating. So if you want to hear some good jazz and wonderful Mediterranean food, come on out on June 13th. And August the 14th, we'll be at the Cambridge, in Cambridge, Maryland, at the Harriet Tubman Museum. And that's from 4. You can tour the museum at 4, and the show starts at 6. And the tickets are online, and they're $20.
Okay.
So we have some other stuff coming up, but if you go to my website, all the shows coming up will be on my website.
Awesome. Okay. Well, gosh, thank you very much, and we're gonna get ready to go ahead and close out. But,
All right.
But
Thanks again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
no
Thank you.
problem.
It has been truly a pleasure.
Well,
Yes.
same.
Mac, you want to close out?
Well, hey, it's been our pleasure. Y'all came back onto the show, and with all the technical difficulties that we done had and things like that. But only thing I can say, see you later. Bye.
See you later. God bless. Safe travel.
I will have a safe trip.
All right.
And of course, I enjoyed you guys. As I said before, you inspired me. And Henry Mixon in the chat, he's already visited your website, and he said you're so beautiful. So you're a beautiful picture.
Tell him I said thank you.
Pretty lady gets the attention, but I don't know what it is.
I'm used to it.
Oh, when I come out, he said, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy.
Ah,
Calm down.
I am. Well, what a pleasure having you guys on the show. And again, everybody, please look for them on Spotify and all Pandora or Apple Play, all these different places. Amazon, thank you. Look for them and add them to your playlist. Download their music, and also while you add it, if you like the show today, just click the button, thumbs up button. And if you didn't like it, don't click anything, okay? But and of course, subscribe if you haven't. And also, a shout out to Gris, who working on coming back on the show as a co-host. We miss you. We love you, Gris. We can't wait till you're back. Until next time, you guys be blessed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Oh, and I forgot. Next week we are having our guest scheduled for next week. Let me think here.
Fields.
Yes. On the what is next week?
From Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah. What's the date? I'm trying to think of what's next week's date.
We miss Gris, don't we?
Yeah, we miss Gris. And she usually handles all that stuff for us.
Joyce.
Yes.
Can I send a shout out? I forgot to say
Sure.
thank you to Jazz Beyond Borders for setting this up for us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes. And also, just to let you know, that was Trina in the chat room.
Trina.
Hey, it's Trina.
Okay. Hey, Trina.
Oh.
Good to see you there. Okay. Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, next week is the 12th that we'll have Michael Fields Jr. on the show. And then we'll also have the following on the 19th. We have the gentleman that you set us up with, Joyce.
Who is it? I'm saying, say it again.
The one that you set us up with.
Oh, Terrence.
Yeah,
yes.
Terrence. He'll be coming.
Terrence Johnson. Yeah.
That's gonna be June 19th. So.
Okay. Yeah, Juneteenth.
Exactly. So hope y'all enjoyed it, and we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And once again, thank you everybody. Appreciate all of you. And I guess we'll go ahead and sign off. And hopefully, I hope Gris is back before next week.
Me too. We miss you.
Yeah.
You hear us stumbling. What's that date?
If I don't see y'all next week on the show, I'll see y'all in 30 days.
That's right.
Thanks for the warning. But on a serious note, please be careful out there, Mac.
I will.
You're gone far away in not a strange land, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, safe travels. Be careful.
But you'll be fine. Okay, guys.
I'll be all right.
All right.
And
all right, bye.
all right, then. Talk to y'all later, G.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, what happened to you yesterday, man?
Oh, I think it's gonna be a while, talking to you.
We know where we belong. It's a new day. 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 how we are. So many years of struggling to get this far. Pain in a mother's eyes when her son died by the hands of another mother's son's reply. It's funny, young women cry to take a soul's freedom on a lie. Maybe he just wants to hold your hand, the poor, humble, lonely, rich man caught up in a storm of greed and deception. I prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day. I prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day that we change that way. It's funny how we are. Why do we make each other hurt with emotional scars? People, please awake from your sleep. Open your eyes to a brighter, clearer day complete with love and compassion that's so sweet. Fall to your knees, live in peace. Fall to your knees. Fall to your knees. I prayed yesterday, prayed today. Every day I will pray. Pray yesterday, I'll pray today, I'll pray each and every way. Pray yesterday, pray today. I guess I'll sit down and pray. Oh, that we change that way. Got to pray. Yesterday, I prayed today, I pray every day. I'll pray yesterday, pray today, I pray every day. Prayed yesterday, I prayed today, I pray in each and every way. That way.
kinda lazy, don't wanna get dressed. My attitude's on a whole nother level, borderline classy, somewhat ghetto, but you